And then we get to our seats and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? Today I'm going to be doing a chit-chatty get ready with me. I apologize for my voice. I'm sick at the moment, but this is the only time I have to film, and I literally have not filmed like a sit-down video like this in probably over 3 weeks now, and honestly I've been really slacking on the YouTubes. But I'm going to talk about my entire trip to Chicago, seeing BTS at Soldier Field Stadium, and just kind of everything, my thoughts on the concert, good things that happened, bad things that happened, all while I do my makeup. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to use is my Touch in Sol No Pore Blend Primer. I love this one so much. I can't believe like how fast I've used it up though. Like I got it in February and I've already like almost completely used it up. So I feel like I just go through this really quickly. It's already to the point where it doesn't want to come out. So I'm just gonna have to use it like that. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna apply it all over my face. I just love the way it feels. It's so like hydrating and nice. It honestly, for me, it doesn't do that much of like priming, like pore filling, is what I mean. But it just, I love the way it makes my skin feel really silky smooth. And then next I'm going to use my Cover FX Blurring Primer. I'm almost done with this. I got to film like another video after this. It just like exploded on me. I'm almost done with this. I think I might film an empties video next if I'm feeling up to it. But that one is like so close to being done. And I'm just going to apply that to my nose area and right across my cheekbones. So for my foundation, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation in the color Porcelain, but this one is not light enough for me, so I'm going to use a little bit of my Innisfree My Drop Tone Up blender product just to kind of lighten it up. So I ended up going to Chicago and seeing BTS, and I had such an amazing time. This is actually my first time in Chicago, and it was just, I really like it there. I would totally go back. It was really fun. I loved like, I don't know, I loved a lot of stuff about it and I would totally go back. I'd originally planned to like kind of do like little vlogs or something when I was in Chicago, but to be honest, I'm not a very good vlogger and I just feel like really uncomfortable at like filming like in public and stuff, so I just felt like really weird about it. So I ended up not vlogging anything. I did like a little bit the last BTS concert I went to in Fort Worth, but I just really wanted to enjoy this trip because it was such a short trip. We were literally in Chicago for, I don't know, less than like 2 full days pretty much. So I just really wanted to like enjoy everything and not like stress myself out with like trying to like film like a YouTube video and stuff. So I ended up not really filming that much. I just took like a couple pictures here and there and just a few little videos and stuff that I might include in this video if I feel like they're worthy of it. But starting off like our first flight, it was just like a really quick flight to like DFW. It was only about like, you know, a 45-minute flight just to get to like an actual major airport. And so it was a really quick flight and I was really stressed out because both of my friends, like they had just had their like duffel bags as their carry-on. But I had that really cute suitcase that I showed in one of my videos, you know, a while ago. It was like one of those cute like carry-on suitcases, but it was like one of those roller suitcase ones, one of those really small ones. And since it was such a small plane, usually you have to like valet check your bags like that, I guess. And I was really kind of like nervous about that because then like when you get off the plane you gotta like wait for them to get your bag and stuff. You can't just, you know, carry it on with you like you normally would if it was like a smaller bag. And so I was the only one who had like a valet checked bag like that. And when we landed in DFW, it was so close to like the time for our connecting flight and I was like really freaking out. And then of course like when we were trying to like you know, get off the plane, there was something wrong with the little like sky bridge thing that like connects like the plane to like the actual airport and stuff, and so there was a delay with that. And I'm like sitting like there like checking my phone every 3 seconds, like trying to like see if my next flight has been delayed at all, because I knew I was gonna have to wait to get off the plane and then wait for my suitcase, and then I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna make my flight? So it was super stressful for me because I haven't flown in a long time, like, because the last time I flew was from like Rome back to the US in 2011, so it had been like, what, 8 years since I had flown, and I just have a lot of anxiety when it comes to like not flying but just airports in general and like getting from point A to point B, and I just really hate that stuff. Next, for concealer, I'm using my Urban Doll Kiss Cover Maker Concealer, and so I was really like, you know, freaking out. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna miss this flight? Are they gonna hate me because I brought this stupid suitcase? Like, are we going to like miss our flight or anything. But luckily we ended up making it. We like really had to dash to our gate to get to our plane, and literally just like walked right through and got on the plane. So I was super happy. And of course, since I was a much larger plane, I didn't have to valet check my bag, which is very good. So that was just probably the most stressful moment I had on the trip, just because, you know, it was like getting there and like, what if we missed our flight and had to like rebook and stuff like that. And I've never like had to do that before, and I've just never had that like experience before because I really just don't fly often at all. And so that was just one thing that really stressed me out, but it turned out just fine, and there was nothing to like freak out about because we ended up making it. But it was really close, so I was just really glad that it turned out the way it did. So we left on like a Friday morning, and we ended up getting there in Chicago probably about, I don't know, maybe 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and that's when we landed at the airport. And then of course it took about, you know, an hour to get to our hotel. Oh, and for my contour, I used my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour stick. This one is called the Shadow Stick Foundation. I got this from like TJ Maxx, and I love it. It's like the perfect contour color, and I love this, and it was like 11 bucks. So if I can find more of these, I want to buy them because I love this. So we take the train for about 40 minutes, and then we get to our hotel, and let me say, I love the hotel we stayed at. And I honestly, like, if I ever go back, that's totally the place I would want to stay again. We stayed at the Magnificent Mile Marriott. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But we stayed there, and it was such a beautiful hotel, and I really liked it. It was like super nice and like more modern looking and stuff, and it was really clean, and a really good location and stuff for like walking around a lot of shops. It was just like the perfect location, and if I ever go back to Chicago, I totally want to stay there again. It was a lot of fun. We were on like the 23rd floor, I think, and it was so pretty. We had a really like nice view, and I think I have like a video clip of that, and I'll insert that here. But it was really pretty. It was obviously like a really nice hotel, but it wasn't like astronomically expensive, so I really liked it. So we get to the hotel and we drop off our bags and stuff, and then we decide to go eat, and we went to a place called, I think it's called Del Sol. It's kind of like this like Mexican Korean food like fusion kind of place, and it was so good. It was so good. I loved the food there. We ended up getting like the kalbi tacos and the like Korean fried chicken, and it was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. I really loved that, and I could eat that up all day. And then after that, we ended up like just walking around a little bit. We went to like this cute little macaroon place that was really close to it, and then we ended up like going to the beach and just kind of like walking around there. And I feel like it's just such a like cool place because like obviously like the lake is right there, and it's so incredibly huge. It like just looks like you're looking at the ocean, which is kind of like trippy because like there's city right here, like giant city buildings, and then it's like beach. It's just so funny. So then we just kind of walked around a bit and like looked at all the buildings, did a little shopping and stuff. I actually didn't end up buying like anything other than like food. I don't think I bought anything on the trip, but that was fine with me because I spent a lot of money for the trip itself, and I spent a lot of money leading up to the trip, so I definitely didn't need to buy anything. And honestly, I have realized, especially on this trip, I don't like shopping in person, with the exception of maybe like just a couple stores. I really don't like shopping in real life. I love online shopping. It's just so much easier. I don't like digging through clothes and stuff. So I learned that about myself on this trip. It's all kind of like running together in my brain a little bit now, just because it's been like 3 weeks since the actual trip, which just blows my mind. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks. But it was such an amazing time, and I really loved it. I wish we just could have had more time and stuff like that. But we ended up, after the beach, I think we ended up just going back to the hotel for the night because it was a little bit later then. And just ended up like chilling out there. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, I loved that hotel. It was really nice. Had a pretty view of the city, and I would totally recommend staying there. So for my shadows, I'm just going to use this palette here. It is the S'mores palette from Makeup Revolution. I haven't played with this one too much, so I kind of want to give this one a go. So then it was, let's see, that was all Friday, and then Saturday was the day of our actual concert. So we ended up getting up about like 8 o'clock or so, and we're trying to decide because like we had wanted to do like the BTS photo booth, thing. Like, of course, every other person who goes to the concert wants to do it too. And we ended up never even going to the booth at all, to the one in Fort Worth. So I didn't really know what it was going to be like, or like how packed it would be, or like how big of a line would it be, or, you know, just stuff like that. We really just didn't have any kind of concept. And another thing is, like, we are not like crazy people. Like, when you see like the BTS fans that like camp out for like a week ahead of time, I'm just like, y'all are crazy and I can't out crazy you, so I'm not going to compete with stuff like that. And like, I've got a life and a job and I can't do that shit. So I just don't know how people, honestly, how they do that. So we knew that like we'd probably have to like wait in line and stuff, and we wouldn't obviously, you know, just walk right into the thing. But when we got there, it was probably about maybe 10 o'clock in the morning, and the photo booth was supposed to be open from like 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. That was like what everything said, like that's how long the photo booth would be open for. But when we get there, it was absolutely insane, which, like, I mean, obviously I knew it was gonna be insane like that. I just realized I should probably like zoom in, so I'll do that. So like, we knew it was gonna be crazy and stuff like that, but by the time we got there, the merch line was absolutely crazy, as expected. And again, I'm not a person that feels like I need to buy like this t-shirt at a concert. I don't know why, it's not important to me. It's just not important to me. So, but we end up getting in the line for the photo booth, and it is literally like, I don't know, I'd have to say like 600 people long. And it was really, just really crazy. We're of course like at the very back of the line, and I kind of knew it would be like that. Like, I knew that's how it was gonna be. But the line literally did not move at all. And I think there were only like 4 photo booths or something like that. So we were probably in line for about 45 minutes or so, and then one of the staff people come by and they're like, hey, just to let you know, they're not doing the photo booth. They're not letting any more people in the photo booth. I don't know if they like, I don't know, ran out of like supplies or something, like paper and ink, or I literally have no idea. And then at first the guy was just like, y'all can keep standing in line if you want, but it's, you know, don't want you to waste your time and stuff like that. But of course, like, no one really moved, because we're like, we'll just kind of like take our chance and like, you know, wait it out a few more minutes. So after that first initial 45 minutes, we probably waited like another, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, and the line still had like not moved at all. And I'm just kind of like, oh, it's not looking good. I just wanted to do the stupid little photo booth. It was really cute and I really would have loved to do it, but I mean, again, I'm not gonna get there at like 4 a.m. just so I can do something stupid like that. It's just a little bit ridiculous. So then after, you know, probably like 20 more minutes of waiting or something, another staff member comes by and they're like, hey, they're not letting any more people in, so, you know, blah, 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 y'all probably should just leave. And then at that time, it was probably about 11 or so, and we're just like, you know, it's obviously not gonna happen. There's a million people in front of us. It's just not gonna happen. But I was thinking, like, you know, if we see a lot of people at the front of the line start to leave, then maybe, you know, then maybe we should just leave. Because at first we kind of thought, well, maybe it's kind of like a crowd control tactic, that there's just like too many people there and they're like, hey, just tell them we're not doing anymore so some of the people leave. I don't know if that was really what was going on or not, but it just really kind of like irritated me that they like advertised that it would be open from 11 to 5 if they didn't think they could sustain it that long, because they literally closed it like an hour after it like officially opened. So that was just really irritating, and I wish we could have done it, but I'm sure next time. I feel like every time we go to the BTS concert, we learn something new, and next time it'll be better. Oh, and one thing I completely forgot. Before we even went, we went to this place called Stan's Donuts. It was so adorable in there. Oh my god, it was so cute. Like, if I had a bakery, that's exactly what it would look like. It was so cute. I think there's like maybe a couple Stan's Donuts, but it was just so cute. So that's what we ended up having for breakfast, and then we were going to have lunch at this place. I'm trying to remember the name of it. I think it was called like Lao Szechuan. I don't remember, but it was a Chinese restaurant and it was so good. Oh my god, I loved the food there. It was so good. So we ended up going for lunch, and then we went back to the hotel for a bit because it had been raining on and off all day and it was so cold. It was probably about, in the daytime, it was probably about I don't know, like 45 to 50 degrees, and it was just drizzling and raining and just really upsetting, because I'm like, I really hope it doesn't rain, because, you know, I had all these cute outfits I wanted to wear and it was just not it was just not good weather. And then I think from about 5:30 or so was when we decided to leave to go back to Soldier Field Stadium. In good traffic, it was probably like, I don't know, a 10-15 minute bus drive, you know, in good traffic to get there. But of course, by this time, the city is just, you know, really busy. And of course, when there's like 60,000 people all trying to get to the same location, it gets really busy. And our bus driver there was actually like really funny. He was just like, so what are all of you guys like doing? And everyone was of course like, we're going to see BTS. And he's like, BTS? Bacon, tomato, sausage. He was just so adorable. He was just like one of those bus drivers that I feel like, you know, they really like their job and like they try to have fun. And there's like, of course, those some bus drivers that literally just don't say anything. But he was just he was a fun bus driver. Next, I'm using my iconic London brow cushion. And so then we're on the bus and traffic is of course getting really bad. We're like barely ever moving, and of course it's getting closer to the time of the concert. And like I said, the bus is like completely packed. And basically we end up getting like, I can't remember exactly like how far ahead, but the bus driver was like, hey everyone, if you want to get off here, it would probably be the best idea because traffic is just really bad here and I don't know, you know, it might just be faster to walk there. So pretty much everyone on the bus gets off the bus at that stop, and they all just end up walking over to the stadium. Like he said, it was probably about a 10-15 minute walk, but every other person except for like maybe 2 people aside from us get off the bus. And then it was like, oh, finally we can breathe, because there's like, you know, just everyone all up in your space. And I mean, that's just public transportation anyway. But it was just really funny because like literally the entire bus evacuates and we're like, nope, we're staying on. We're taking our chances and we are staying on. And to be honest, I think we made the right choice. It kind of freaked me out though at first because obviously like I'm not super familiar with the layout of the city at all. And that morning whenever we had gone there on the bus, they had taken like of course the same route, but then like they dropped us off like at a different area, which was like literally right in front of the stadium, which was like the perfect drop-off spot. But now of course they had that like all blocked off and stuff. So he ended up having to like kind of go like the back way, kind of like if you were to go to like the parking area. And it kind of freaked me out at first though, because like I see us just like go past the stadium, but that was kind of like the way you had to go around. And I'm like, oh shit, should we have gotten off the bus? Did we fuck up? Are we going somewhere else? Because I don't know, I guess in my brain I was thinking like, well maybe he thought like, hey, that's everyone who's going to the concert and they all got off, I'm just gonna like go somewhere else now. But luckily that was not the case, and he did end up going straight through to, you know, drop us off there. It was still just a tiny bit of a walk, but overall I think we made the totally right decision. But I was kind of like panicking at first because I'm like, oh, should we get off? Should we stay? Should we not? Should we go? But I think we totally made the right choice, and it was just literally like 4 people on the bus now at this point. And there were a couple buses in front of us, and people were getting off that, so we just ended up getting off just like a tiny bit early, just so, you know, he wouldn't have to wait any longer for like 3 people to get off the bus. And as we were getting off the bus, there was one of the like I don't know if they're like traffic control or just whatever, you know, people like directing, you know, cars and stuff at the stadium. She was talking to one of the bus drivers in front of us, and she was like going off on him. She's like, you're not supposed to be letting people off here. And I'm like, oh shit, good thing we got off when we did. I mean, like they couldn't have done anything, you know, there, but I was just like, well, good thing we got off when we did. And it was so good. And he was such a nice, polite bus driver, you know, whenever we were getting off, we're like, thank you so much for, you know, bringing us and stuff. There's just some bus drivers you just don't talk to, but he was such a really nice bus driver. I would have tipped him if I could have. So now we're at the stadium, and it was still really, really cold. It was probably about 40 degrees at this point, but luckily, oh my god, it stopped sprinkling, and I was so happy because I'm like, I mean, I'll do it. I'll stand in this fucking cold ass rain to see BTS, I will, but if it doesn't have to rain, please don't. Okay, and then for my lip gloss, I'm using my Makeup Revolution lip gloss in the color Salted Caramel. This is like my favorite lip gloss ever. It's so perfect. And that's pretty much it for the look, but I've still got a lot to talk about, so get ready. So then, you know, we get into the stadium, we get past security, and, you know, scan our tickets and all that, and we're going to find our seats. And we go to one section that we thought was our section. It's kind of embarrassing, but we thought this was our section, and we obviously get there, and there's like people in our seat numbers and stuff, and we're like, are those your seats? I think they're our seats. And we were just idiots and we were in the wrong section, but it was all cool. We weren't rude, we weren't bitches, we were like, hey, get out of our seats. We were just like, oh, and they were like, oh no, that's that section over there. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. So then we get to our actual section, and then we get to our seats, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? I was so pissed when I sat down because we had really good seats. Like just the section of it, the seats were good. They were amazing. We're like 4th row. We were section, I think 136. We had like seats like 9, 10, and 11 or something like that. And we sit down and I look in front of us and the sound booth is literally right in front of us. And it's not just the sound booth is in front of us, but because it had been raining and shit, there was of course this huge fucking tarp on top of it that was covering and blocking the entire view of our section of the extended stage. And I'm like, what in the actual fuck is this? And I just like look around to like the other people sitting here and I'm like, is this real? Like, I'm like, maybe the tarp is just up there to cover all the sound system shit in case it rains, obviously. And maybe they'll take it down like before the show starts and you know, it won't be this big deal either. And of course there were these 2 like really large pillar things, of course, that have the sound system there that was also blocking a little bit of the view and of course had like the wires and stuff, you know, that Jungkook flies around Euphoria. Yeah, so it was all that. And I'm literally like, what the actual fuck? There is this like literally standing, you could not see over this thing. And it was just like this big fucking tarp covering our view. And I was so incredibly like pissed and I'm like, this can't be real. They could not have put the sound booth right fucking there. And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? And especially it was such a weird spot. Usually they put the sound booth like in the back center of like the floor region. And this was on like stage right. Yeah, the right side of the stage, which is such a weird place to put it. But basically I was so fucking pissed because I'm like, I just spent like $1,000 to come to this goddamn concert and now I can't see around this fucking tarp. Needless to say, I was absolutely pissed. But one good thing, and I don't even know how this happened, I still to this day don't even know what happened, but the section next to us was like only partially filled, and I don't know if that was because either like they didn't sell tickets for that side of that section or if like people were there and they like just went and found other seats and stuff. I don't know, but for some reason the section to the right of us was, you know, kind of a little sparse. And basically, I think I have a little bit of a video of this and I'll insert it if I do, but our entire section, like literally probably the first like, I don't know, 8 rows of our section literally were running back and forth between these 2 sections so you could see them on the extended stage and see them on the main stage, because of course they like go back and forth and stuff, and we were literally like running back and forth. I feel like I wish I could find like videos of it like from the other side of the stadium's perspective to see, like you can probably see like an entire group of people like I don't know, maybe 50 to 60 people just running back and forth between these 2 sections to try to fucking see the goddamn show. I mean, in hindsight, it was really funny, but at the moment, I was so fucking pissed because I'm literally like running like an entire sections back and forth through this concert. We probably ran back and forth like probably 20 to 30 times, and I'd love to see if anyone has video of that because I feel like it'd just be hilarious to see like this huge group of people like whenever they're coming out through to the extended stage, to see this whole group of people like running back and forth. And another thing that was super annoying at the time, I was like, this was not on the map. Whenever I like saw the soundboard and stuff, I was like, they didn't show this on the map, how could they do this? This is fucking stupid, I want a refund kind of thing. But whenever we ended up looking back at the map, you can see there is a little section there for the soundboard and stuff. But I mean, there's no indication like how tall it's gonna be, how much it's gonna like obstruct your view. And it wasn't even like labeled in a way that said like soundboard or something that would be like really obvious. But in the end, it was still like a really amazing show. It was so pretty, so good. All the fireworks were beautiful as well. They were so amazing at singing and stuff, and dancing was perfect. It was just so good. I just wish the fucking soundboard wasn't right there. I don't know who fucking made that decision, but I was so mad. Oh my god, I was so mad. Another thing was that luckily it stopped raining for the duration of the entire concert, and it was so amazing because then they were like, "Army, stop the rain," and it was so nice because it literally had been raining the entire day, and I'm like, shit, we are gonna get so cold. And it was no joke, like 40 degrees, and it was so cold. I've never been so cold in my life. Like, I've been in colder weather, but when it's like rainy like that, it was so cold. Like literally teeth chattering, I cannot get warm type of cold. I've never felt that cold. And of course you're out there for like, you know, 3 hours for like the concert pretty much, and then like all the time you spent outside before that. It was really, really cold. But either way, it was such a great concert. We ended up like leaving like a few minutes before the end, like whenever, like obviously they'd stopped playing, but they were doing like all the fireworks and stuff. We were like, okay, let's get out of here before 60,000 other people try to all get on the same bus and go. So we left a couple minutes early to try to beat the crowd a bit. And then we ended up taking the bus back to our hotel, and then we had Midnight Shake Shack, and it was so good. Oh, so good. But that was day 1 in Chicago, and I think it actually did rain throughout day 2 in Chicago. So, and another sad thing was that we actually had 2 tickets to go to see Chicago day 2, but we had 3 people and we only had 2 tickets, and of course conflicted with our flights, and we couldn't change our flights last minute and stuff. So ended up not getting to go see them, even though we had 2 tickets for that one. But I mean, we couldn't have just gone with 2 of us and like leave someone out. So I mean, in the end there was nothing we really could have done, but it was meant to be though. It was so meant to be, because we actually were like, we're looking for another ticket on StubHub, and the one literally right next to us, they were selling 2 of the tickets. They wouldn't sell them like separately, but they would sell the 2 tickets that were literally right next to us. And I'm like, oh my god, this is meant to be. We could just buy the extra ticket. We'll eat the 4th one and it won't be a big deal. And those were floor tickets too. I mean, it was still in like section C, so it wasn't like straight up front, but it was just gonna be too much to like literally have to like buy a new flight last minute. It would have been just so incredibly stupid. So I was really sad that we couldn't go to night 2, but I mean, it is what it is. And then the next morning we ended up getting up early and going back to the airport and flying home. So overall it was a really fun trip. I wish it would have been a little bit longer. I wish the weather would have been a little bit nicer, because I didn't even get to wear any of the cute outfits that I had. And yeah, I just wish it would have been warmer, a little bit longer, and not have the goddamn soundboard right in front of our faces where you literally could not fucking see a thing. Overall, I still had a really amazing time. I would totally go back to Chicago and see it again. We didn't do a whole lot of touristy things just because, number one, I'm not a huge fan of the touristy things, and then like they had both been there before like multiple times, so they've kind of done all that stuff and it didn't matter to me anyway. But I would totally love to go back. It was really pretty, and I would totally go see BTS there again. I'm just really excited to see when they're gonna have another concerts, ones I can go to. What state am I gonna go see BTS in next? We will just have to see, because I feel like I can't miss a concert now that I've got the bug. Like, I've been to Fort Worth, been to Chicago, I just want to go see them everywhere. I feel like there's a million things I left out in this video that I forgot to talk about, but I would totally go back to Chicago again. It was such a really pretty city, and I'm not like a big city kind of person. I haven't really been to a lot of big cities though, but I liked it, and especially the area we were at, it was very like, you know, trendy and modern and new and, you know, clean and stuff like that, and I really liked it. I mean, obviously this was like really touristy area, which is not very indicative of the city, but it was a lot of fun, and I would 100% go back. Yeah, so I'm sorry this video was so delayed, and I'm sorry I didn't have really like more video clips or things to include to like, I don't know, really like vlog the experience, but I'm just not really a good vlogger. I wanted to enjoy my time, and I didn't want to stress about stuff like that, and I just really wanted to enjoy the time. So, and sorry that it took me 3 weeks to post this video. Not that really anyone cares, but yeah, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below, and until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
뒤돌아봐 어쩌면 움직이서 없니 그냥 그랬던 거야